Hello guys, Riddick here, and I'm just going to do a quick little overview of this screen, which is way down there is, if we can see it, I'll just change my exposure a little bit so we can see that. It's the UHD4020R curved mine, and just to let you know, the exposure on this camera can be a little bit funny, so I'm just locking it every now and then, just so I can get a more realistic look at this screen. Now if I move back here, you can see it there. It does look quite dark. It doesn't really, you don't really see any of the backlighting issues at the moment, which is good. I'm not sure why they don't show up at the moment. I think maybe because when the pixels have actually something like here, they've got some black down here, it's all black, you know, bitmap sort of thing. So I think when there's some image on the screen, the backlighting is not too bad. But if you have the whole screen set to something like white or black, it's you can see the backlighting a little bit, the issues. So it has some backlighting bleed down the bottom here. It does have a halo look if you have a certain like color up on the screen, which I'll show in a bit, and the backlight near the edges. The screen itself, you can see the curvature there, so it's reasonably curved. I don't think I would want it any more curved than that. And now what I'll do is I'll show off what's in the menu to start with. So it's a pretty basic menu. So let me just fix my focus there a bit. There we go. And it's very similar to all the other Korean monitors, the options you get. And I'll just flick through these and you can have a look at them sometime yourself. These are the settings I'm using at the moment, and yeah, pretty basic. So what do we got to do? You get rid of the source. You've got to press source twice to get rid of that LCD on-screen display thing. So yes, so the other thing to show off that I wanted to show off is white screen. And so on this camera, if I take the exposure off, there we go. And so if I just let it normally settle to exposure, and this is not quite what I see. What you're seeing now is actually worse than what my eyes detect, but you can actually see the halo effect there. You can see a bit of it there. The camera's sort of changing exposure because my finger's on the screen. God damn it. But you can see that it's a bit of a halo effect in the middle, and that's probably more to do with the fact that it's curved. And if I go view full screen, it might even show up a little bit better. A little bit. So it's not terrible, but let's have a look at the black full screen just to see what what that looks like. So here's black. Oh, and you can see me. Look at that. And yeah, exposure is just gone absolutely ape shit because now there's no light coming from the screen. If I just sort of look up here and lock the exposure, okay. So yeah, you can't see a halo too well, but you can probably see that it's a bit of backlight bleeding through down the bottom edges and so forth, but not terrible. There is one stuck pixel down here, which I don't think I'll be able to show in the camera, to be honest. So small. My finger, there's a stuck pixel right there. Just above my finger there's a stuck pixel, and I can't really get that. It's so small. And I think this is a pretty good price because I paid 819 Australian dingaroos for this. And let me just get that exposure a little bit normal. And I'll get rid of this. Back to here. And I gotta say, it's pretty good response time, and you might want to have a look at me moving some windows around like this, and I'll see if I can get my really shitty camera to work here so you can see some trailing effect. It's only at 30 frames per second, my camera here, so it's very difficult to show off any sort of color bleed or as you move icons around. And I've got the response time as off, and that seems to be the best setting. And I think the color bleed can happen in certain situations, a lot more than others. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'd say it's comparable to the wasabi mango I had. So not bad. Let's see if I can get this normalized. And yeah, I've done some playing games on it, and it works pretty good, just the same as the mango I had. And the good thing about this screen is that it's only got one stuck pixel down the bottom there, and it's not really a problem for me. And you know, if any of you guys want me to do any more tests with this, I could show off some gaming with it, but I don't think I can do it justice, because this 4K camera, it's only 30 frames per second, so I'd have to set it down to lower resolution in order to get the full 60 frames, so you could actually see any sort of latency problems. But I gotta say, I've been playing a bit of Dragon Age Inquisition there, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this monitor. And it's definitely a monitor you probably want to just use for a personal PC setup, because quite frankly, it's, if anyone's sitting to the side of it, if you're sitting over here, if you've got people coming in sitting into the side like this, you'll see some color shift. The colors sort of you can probably see the red getting redder as you get to the center, so the colors do shift a bit. Not a large amount, but they do lose, you know, maybe 30-40% of their color tone as you move to the sides, so there is that. But for you know, for what did I pay? 819 dingaroos. So if I go here on eBay, let's go to the, god damn that exposure. Sorry guys. Let's go to the monitor that I paid for. Where is it there? I got all these 3D printing bits and pieces turning up. Okay, so this is what I bought off this person, Accessories Hole. And they worked with me to get a decent screen, and I did say I was going to do a video up on YouTube, and this will probably be it for now. As I get some more testing stuff, I might even do some latency testing later on with this screen to show it. But anyway, that was delivered to my door for $819. No GST for me, at least until they change that later next year. So yeah, pretty good screen. I think this is probably one of the better screens you can get for a 40-inch for the price, and you can't go too wrong. I haven't tested FreeSync yet, sorry. That's going to have to come later, because at the moment I've got two NVIDIA 980 Ti's. Once the 490 comes out, I'll test FreeSync with that and see if I can see any difference, because that'll be great for games like Fallout 4 that really have frame rate dip and so forth. So yeah, so that's my little mini preview of this monitor. And I might do some more stuff later on with FreeSync, and maybe some response latency sort of tests and so forth. Anyway, there you go. Have fun. See you later.